The rain had been falling for 3 days without pause. In the small mountain town of Hollowridge, darkness did not just mean nightfall, it meant death. At first, no one believed the rumors. People said that once the sun dipped below the horizon, something moved through the blackness. Something that wasn't quite human. They called it the shade, a figure without a face, with limbs longer than they should be, crawling along walls and ceilings like a spider. Wherever it passed, the air turned cold, lights flickered, and the smell of damp soil filled the room. On the 4th evening, 5 strangers found themselves trapped in the old Hollowridge library. Mara, a schoolteacher, Ellis, a truck driver, Lydia, a university student, Jonah, an old hunter, and Chris, a man with eyes that never stopped scanning the shadows. The storm had knocked out all power. The only light came from a flickering oil lamp in the center of the room. Jonah's voice cracked as he spoke. "You don't understand. It can't be killed. It hates the light. If it reaches you, you're gone. Not dead. Gone." The wind howled through broken windows, scattering pages across the floor. They could hear it, soft scraping along the wooden beams above, like fingernails dragging slowly across the ceiling. Mara gripped the lamp tighter. "We just wait until morning, right?" Ellis shook his head. "No. Morning won't come." Outside, the streetlights had all gone out at once. Not with a pop, but as if they'd been swallowed. The darkness outside the library windows was absolute, not even the outlines of the mountains visible. Then came the first scream. It was high-pitched, sharp, and short, cut off mid-breath. Chris ran to the window and saw nothing, and then, a pale hand pressed against the glass from outside. Fingers impossibly long. Skin wet, glistening. Then it slid away, leaving a streak like something oily. Lydia began crying. Jonah dropped a sack onto the table, flares, matches, candles. "Light. That's all we have." For an hour they stayed in a tight circle, passing the lamp back and forth, lighting new candles before the old ones burned out. But the shadows crept closer, stretching unnaturally toward them. Suddenly, one candle went out, just snuffed, no wind, no touch. Another followed. The room dimmed. The scraping above grew louder. Then, thump, something landed in the far corner. They saw it for the first time. It was tall, but hunched, its arms so long they dragged on the floor. The head tilted at an unnatural angle, and where the face should have been, only smooth, pale skin. Mara screamed, and Chris threw a lit flare. The creature hissed, a deep, rumbling sound, and retreated into the shadows like melting wax. Jonah growled. "We move! Now!" They rushed toward the basement, hoping to find the generator. The stairs creaked under their weight, and every step echoed too loud in the silence. Downstairs, the air was colder, and the smell of earth stronger. The generator sat in the corner, covered in dust. Ellis pulled the cord once, nothing. Twice, still nothing. On the 3rd try, it roared to life, flooding the basement with harsh yellow light. For a moment, relief washed over them. Then the lights flickered. From the far wall, the darkness oozed forward, not like a shadow, but like liquid night, swallowing everything it touched. The shade stepped out of it, its head jerking with insect-like movements. Ellis froze. The thing reached for him. Jonah shoved Ellis aside, firing a flare directly into the creature's chest. It shrieked, and its skin bubbled where the fire touched. But as the flare died, it surged forward again. They fled upstairs, slamming the basement door. But the darkness seeped through the cracks like smoke. One by one, the lights failed again. They made a run for the front entrance, but outside was worse. The street was gone. Not hidden, but gone, replaced by a swirling void of black mist. From within it, dozens of pale, faceless figures moved. All turning toward them. Chris shouted, "Stay in the light! Move!" He ran toward the only building across the square with any glow, the old church, its steeple light still burning. They sprinted through the darkness, clutching their flares. Shapes lunged from the black, their limbs whipping past like ropes. Mara felt claws brush her neck. Lydia screamed as one nearly grabbed her arm. They burst into the church and slammed the doors shut. Inside, the air was warm, the light from dozens of candles flickering across the walls. For the first time all night, they felt almost safe. Jonah collapsed against a pew, breathing hard. "We wait till sunrise." But Chris shook his head, staring at the stained glass windows. The darkness outside was pressing closer, dimming the candlelight already. "The light's not going to last." And then, the biggest candle at the altar went out.